What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. So we got some news. I've been I'm getting a lot of people just sharing this news with me, so I want to share it with you. Obviously, I'm not going to show anything that will get me in trouble, but I will talk a little bit about something. So do you guys remember how I said I want to desperately get Thomas to A10? That is still going to be the plan, but now the plan is going to change a little bit now in regards to when that's going to happen. Number one, I'm running out of resources. You guys can see I'm playing on auto here. Every gate is going to be an S gate. Now I'm going to be getting as many Essence Stones from gates as I can to continuously min-max the amount of Essence Stones I can squeeze out of this game. Plus, hopefully the devs provide us some extra codes, some bonuses. Like today, for example, they gave us 1,000 Essence Stones. The reason why this is important is because I now saw Akari's, which if you don't know is the brand new, is going to be the brand new unit based off of the information we got, what she's all about. And I want to share a little bit about that with you guys. Now, keeping in mind, this is all old information. I love that they just did an alt here without the tower being exposed. On one enemy, you had no HP. God, sometimes this game, I swear. So, anyways. So the reason why I want to share this with you is because I think it's going to be fairly important to help you make a decision as well what you want to do. Now keep in mind, this is old information, so this can change, of course, and of course being a being unofficial information, we don't know how much this is real. All right, so if you don't know, Akari is the Japanese S rank healer in the Biru, aka the Jeju Island arc, where the Japanese folks, and the Korean folks get together to try to beat the Jeju Island and Biru and the Queen, obviously, right? So they have a Japanese hunter by the name of Akari who wields a big axe. She's, I believe, a redhead or an orange head, whatever you want to call it. I think redhead in this case. No, actually, you know what? She definitely is an orange-haired girl, kind of like Ichigo style from Bleach. And she's coming out next. We know this because she's actually in the hallways, in the lobbies. She's walking around with a massive axe, and we know for sure that when that happens, that's guaranteed to be the next character. Now, we do know they won't do two banners at once. They've said that, right? We got ourselves 15 days left with Thomas, which means that's a little over 2 weeks of saving or going for him for A10. Okay, so I was hell-bent on going for him for A10 because I was like, you know what? I know for a fact that my combat power is what's going to stop me from beating some of the content, but because I do know how bad my support system is, and I know that the meta of light is most likely going to be prevalent in the next upcoming content, I would imagine. At least I think it is. That's not a guarantee. After seeing her kit, I do think she's a direct copy to, not copy, sorry, she's a direct link to GUNHEE and Thomas buffs. And that is huge because at the end of the day, you're going to take Thomas, right? And you're going to take GUNHEE and you're going to keep them together. Those two will not change because you need that breaker and you need that main DPS. So remember how I said the current team is probably going to be Cha, Thomas, and GUNHEE. That still exists. That is still the main team. You'll be using them in guild battle, etc., until this new girl comes out, and then slowly, unfortunately, Cha will probably be replaced in content where, like for example, WOBL, right? And from what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing, the main thing she does is she does a good amount of AoE, and she does a good amount of buffing and boosting to the whole team, specifically around defense and attack. So she also apparently will boost crit stats too. And those are three of the main things that you look for in this game right now, because either everyone who's powerful scales off attack, or everyone powerful scales off of defense, and obviously crit will maintain to be one of the main stats in the game. So with that being said, getting him to A10 is still my priority, but not through rate up anymore because of what I've seen. Now that we know how she works a little bit, I think a direct link bonus or any defensive bonus or any stats bonus that she can provide Thomas will outweigh any form of, I don't know, A10 that I need on him, right? So I think that's going to play a pretty major role. You guys can see I have all curse on him right now, specifically for combat power, just to see how far I can push him. And right now we're at 237k, 231k, and 230k. So all in the same range almost, right? I just got to get him. I just got to get him better gear, and that's kind of the problem right now. In order to keep that combat power up. Now the reason why I'm obviously hell bent on getting a 10 is because every single time you boost from one more advancement, it gives you roughly about 3.2 to 3.3 thousand combat power, right? So if you go from A5 to A10, you're still going to boost yourself roughly about 16,000 power, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal, especially with upcoming Jeju Island and everything. I feel like our combat power requirements are going to be so high. So it's either you're going to be maxing out your simulation and all your gear needs to be maxed out and your cores are fully maxed out, or you can have a little bit of slack and give yourself, you know, some love on things like this, like the weapons and the advancement on your characters. So it's a very difficult situation to be put in, because if you're a free-to-play player, you do realize how limited your resources are. Hell, I'm at the point where I'm just scraping by now in regards to what I can get. So right now the main forms of currency for me is going to be POD, Battlefield of Trials, the weekly or the 20-day one, and Battlefield of Time, right? And then anything else that the codes and any type of events that come my way. So which actually happen pretty often. So I'm not overly concerned about it, but I would like to at least get enough currency to get her being Akira at A3. Now, then the question becomes this, right? Getting her at A3, is that even going to be enough? Obviously, it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Especially places like Jeju Island. I think they're going to require you to get at least an A5 on your character to be able to even use them based on combat power. So that's also the dilemma right there, right? So even if, you know, right, so right now I have an A6 Thomas, right? I was able to pull an A6. I won the 50-50 and I got him after 30 pulls. So I got super lucky after my A5. I don't even have enough to get an A6. Or an A7, sorry, right now, if I wanted to. Like, I still have to compete with the 50-50, then I have to get enough resources to summon, etc., right? So right now my best luck is most likely going to be waiting for black tickets, and hopefully black tickets will be the way to go for me in order to get him maxed out at A10 when it's time. So I don't know, guys. That's the way that's the situation we're kind of in right now. Do I think he's still worth A10ing? Absolutely. And I know a lot of you guys who are free-to-play players saying there's never a need for free-to-play to go to A10. I strongly disagree there. I think that's the direction that we're going when it comes down to hard raids. And I'll be real. I think I saw an account who was free to play and only had 3 A10s. I think it was like it was a Filipino player. Shout out to the Filipino players, obviously. And I forgot who sent this to me, and I was going to share it and I never got around to it. But it was a guy who had Lim, Min, and one other person at A10 for his free to play. But that's all he had. Everything else that's all he ended up getting. Right? It was just like matter of luck. And he had Scythe at A10 and another weapon at A10, and that's all he had for weapons. And he was able to beat Hard Mode Baron as a free-to-play player with a fair amount of ease. And that kind of like spoke volumes to me, because I was like, that's exactly what, you know, I think Netmarble is expecting a lot of their players to do. Not all players, because there's a lot of players who beat Hard Mode Baron with A5s and the proper, you know, legendary magnifying slashes, etc., right? But there was a lot of players who obviously were able to beat it with A10s. And I mean, if you look at the difference between like pay to win and free to play, obviously 99% of pay to win run A10s, and they have a relative easy time because of the fact that their combat power is right exactly where you need it to be. So, you know, take it as you will, guys. I now have told you a little bit about the character that's coming out. You know, shout out to those folks who sent me that information. Again, I'm not trying to share leaks officially, but I think this one's an important one to at least mention, because I said I was going to leave Thomas alone. He was a huge release. But now I know a lot of you guys are either going to push with A10 like I was planning to, or you know, save up for the next unit. And I figured I'll let you guys know before you went to A10 or try to waste all your resources, or it's not waste, but use all your resources, that this character does this, and this is why you may want to consider holding off until she's out, and then maybe going Thomas route through the old-fashioned custom draw way. All right. Anyways, that's what I want to share. Again, I don't want you guys to not have the information ahead of time. Thank you for those who shared it with me. I think it's important. And yeah, if you are lacking supports, you may want to consider it. She does look like she's a direct build for SJW and Thomas and what's his name? GUNHEE. So if those are going to be big players on your team and you know they're a major part of your roster like mine, you may want to consider holding off. Alright folks, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.